What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the same. And right now, I'm feeling like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Weisz.
Hey, everybody. This is John Corcoran with Dr. Jeremy Weisz, and this episode is a little bit different. This is a live interview that we recorded at the Global Leadership Conference from Entrepreneurs Organization, where some of the best entrepreneurs from around the globe gathered in Washington, D.C. to share ideas and to learn about entrepreneurship. And of course, this episode is brought to you by Rise 25, where we help B2B businesses to give to and to connect to their Dream 100 relationships and partnerships, helping you to run a podcast so that it generates a referral pipeline and ROI.
Yeah, I mean, John, after both of us have been podcasting for over a decade, the number one thing in our life is relationships. And we're always looking at ways to give to our best relationships. And we found no better way to do that over the past decade than to profile the people and companies we admire and shout from the rooftops what they're working on. And this interview is no different. So if you've thought about podcasting, you should go to rise25.com to learn more, or email us at support@rise25.com.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the interview.
Enjoy. Jeremy Weisz here. We're here live at EO Global Leadership Summit. This is brought to you by Rise 25. I have Ethan King. And Ethan, tell people about your business and what you do.
So I actually own a few businesses. My main EO business is Zeus's Closet. We do screen printing and embroidery. We're like a tattoo shop for your clothes. So we do very advanced embroidered work, like specialty embroidery for fraternities and sororities, the entertainment industry, film and TV. It's a lot of fun. We have 2 retail stores in the Atlanta area and several different e-commerce properties aimed at different niche markets.
You have some really cool clients. Let's talk about a few of them.
Yeah, you're a fan. I hate to drop names here, but we do have some cool projects that come up. Like we've done jackets for Rick Ross, Akon. We outfitted his whole record label, Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry Studios. Marvel. So we just recently did some work for the new Black Panther movie that's coming out, Wakanda Forever, the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So it's really cool to like work behind the scenes and just be, even if it's a tiny part of these multi-billion-dollar projects, it just gives us a lot of joy, and I think my team loves it as well.
So walk me through so I can visualize what it is. So let's talk about Tyler Perry, Rick Ross, and Black Panthers for a second. What did you do with each of them?
So every project is different. I have an art background, by the way. I have no business training. Sometimes I'm like, what am I doing in EO? But so each project is a little bit different. Like Rick Ross, he's come to us for, he had a music video shoot, and the theme of it was like this collegiate. So he wanted this Letterman jacket with all of his businesses, a patch for each business. He's an entrepreneur too, with several brands. So we did the logo for each one going all down his arm on this jacket, and he needed it turned around next day. So we were the only people
like custom next day don't usually go together. Yeah,
they don't. So that's our unique value proposition right there. That sweet spot of custom, next day. Of course, you got to pay extra for next day, and really advanced artistry that most other people in our space kind of shy away from. But like with Marvel and the movies.
Wait, so back to Rick Ross. What was the color? Like describe what did it look like?
So it was a blue and gold Letterman jacket, like with the leather sleeves and the wool body, and then it had like the Rick Ross logo, and then on the back he had the Triple M Maybach music logo, and then all his business is going down the sleeves.
All right, so Marvel.
Yeah, so Marvel. So with the movies, it's really cool because sometimes we get to do things that will actually appear in the movie. Like it might be uniforms. Like say there's a scene that's shot at a school and all the kids need uniforms. Well, we did that for a Marvel series that was on Netflix. And then sometimes it's for the crew, where when they wrap the movie, they want to give wrap gifts to all of the crew. So we'll do the wrap gifts, like they'll do jackets or hoodies or some type of really nice accessory. So it's cool to be on both sides of the project.
Were there any that stick out over the years of cool gifts that someone gave their staff or crew, or any that were out of the ordinary? Or were they more typical shirt, hoodie, jacket?
There's definitely been some that are out of the ordinary, but they have meaning to that crew because of the experiences they went through while filming that movie. So, for example, for Black Panther, they had these huge like duffel bags, I guess almost like ski bags, and they branded it with the Wakanda Forever logos. I don't know the connection, but it's a story that's very meaningful to the crew.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah. So Tyler Perry, we were actually very fortunate. I started working with Tyler Perry before most people had ever even heard of him. So this was 20 years ago, before he ever launched his first movie.
He's from Atlanta?
He's from Atlanta. And well, he's originally from New Orleans, but he's based in Atlanta. And so he started out doing stage plays. And at the time, this is my former business, I was a graphic designer, a freelance graphic designer. So he hired my firm to design all of his merchandise and posters and flyers for his plays. And we worked together for about 10 years until he stopped doing stage plays.
So what kind of stuff did you end up doing with him?
So every playbill, like the booklet you get when you go to the plays, and he went all out on his booklets, some of their magazine quality, all of the t-shirts and merchandise that the people sell at the plays. And we actually, he trusted my work. I was very fortunate I always showed up and was reliable. So when his mom passed away, unfortunately, from cancer, he reached out to me to design her funeral booklet, which was very touching. So That's
really touching.
Yeah, I got to learn a lot about him personally, and it affected him deeply, of course. So I'm glad that I was a part of his life in that moment.
I mean, there's not much more trust to have someone, represent someone's mom or dad in that type of situation.
Very deeply personal situation.
Now, on the flip side, you work with a lot of different types of businesses, including best-selling books.
Yeah, so my personal brand, I also, outside of the clothing business, I speak to audiences about living life on your own terms, living life by design. And I recently published a book called Wealth Beyond Money, Unlocking the 6 Dimensions of Success for Richness in Every Area of Your Life. And we are very fortunate that the book performed very well. We had a very successful launch and became a #1 international bestseller.
Where can people find it?
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon. You can go to my website, ethanking.com, and find it there. You can just go straight to wealthbeyondmoneybook.com.
And Ethan, you're saying, I know you have multiple businesses. Just drop some of the website names so people can check out each one.
Yeah, sure. If you're in a fraternity or sorority or know someone in a collegiate fraternity or sorority, check out stuffforgreeks.com. stuffforgreeks.com. We outfit all the frats and sororities across the country. If you need custom apparel for anything, whether it's personal gifts or for your business, if you want swag, check out zeuscloset.com, zeuscloset.com. Check out my website, ethanking.com. And I also have some real estate ventures, but nobody wants to hear about that boring stuff.
My last question, Ethan, is, we stand on the shoulder of giants. You mentioned I'm just a graphic designer, business. We're all like that, right? We all have mentors and people that help us in business because we start out not knowing anything, right? So I'd love for you to talk about a few of your mentors. They could be in Atlanta or wherever that, give you advice. They could be colleagues and mentors who've helped you.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I'll talk about 2 of them. One being Tyler Perry, since you brought his name up. In working with him, I got to absorb a lot of the business knowledge that he has. Most people don't see him as a successful entrepreneur. They see him as an entertainer, but he's actually a very, very astute entrepreneur. And one thing I learned from him is own it. And I remember it was at a time in our business where we had outgrown working in our basement, and we were at a crossroads, right? Do we want to lease office space, or what do we want to do next to expand? And we didn't have much money, but we made a stretch to purchase an office building in West Midtown Atlanta, and that investment has paid off tremendously. It was a stretch at the time, but I'm glad I listened to Tyler's advice because he's all about owning it. Another one of my mentors happens to be here at this event at EO Global Leadership Conference. His name is Mr. Warren Rustand. Warren is the Dean of Leadership of Education for EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. And he has actually served as an advisor to the President of the United States, Gerald Ford. And he's an accomplished businessman with investments in over like 17 different businesses that are either publicly traded or $100 million. And he's a family man. I've always had this belief that you can have it all, and that the traditional concepts of life balance don't really apply if you think about things the right way. And Warren he truly exemplifies that. And he is the only other person, one of the few other people I've heard say you can have it all. And Warren actually wrote the foreword for my book, Wealth Beyond Money, because he felt it was so fitting and a message that needed to be shared with the world.
Wealth Beyond Money. Thank you, everyone from GLC.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sailing right now. I'm feeling like 100 grand.